swordfish my live. Yeah, my camera, my phone's about to die. This camera's here. Write my name. Just write my name.
Second time, y'all. We're goddamn sick and tired.
G-H-O-R-D-E.
How much more can we get? What do we have to do?
What about the Ohio State University kids that was flipping the cars over there tonight? Nobody got shot.
What do we have to do?
They all at home, they know right now.
I think what we have to do, maybe an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth.
Hey, that's what trying to do.
Eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Maybe it'll stop. You know what we need to do? We need to police our own areas and have guns too. That's what we're going to do. We need to develop our own police in our communities. And we carry guns too. I'm sick and tired of it.
Hello, everybody. We are in a live feed from Columbus, Ohio. Earlier today,
It was about 4:30 this happened.
I'll let him give the recap.
She had a knife, but I guess it was a fight broke out. She was trying to protect herself. Police got out. Within seconds, they shot her. One of the neighbors said they heard like 4 shots. And 4 shots ring out. Girl dead. So they got things blocked off. You can see, my phone's about to die again. So I didn't come down here with full battery. But this is kind of what's happening.
So this is Columbus, Ohio. As you heard, about 4:15 this afternoon, a girl was involved in an altercation. 15-year-old girl, Marquita Bryant, is the name that I've been given. 15-year-old black girl. She was involved in an altercation. She had a knife, was trying to defend herself, is the report I'm getting. And police shot her. There were 4 shots. I absolutely hate that I have to be reporting this on the day that justice was served in the judicial system for George Floyd. I don't want to say a day of celebration because George Floyd's still dead, but it was a day of relief for me that justice was served in the George Floyd murder. That he was charged and convicted of murder. That was a relief to me. That was, but again, it's not a celebration to me because George Floyd's still dead. But yet, it's a day of that should be a day to relieve pressure, in my opinion. A day of that you can take a deep breath and smile. And yet, within 20 minutes of that verdict, I was informed that there was a police action shooting that had just happened in Columbus, Ohio. So from that point till this, that's where we're at. I only have the one. I only have the one feed at the moment. Yes, I'm getting ready to pop over to Frank Nitti in Minneapolis, and I'm going to try to get some more information on what's going on here in Columbus, Ohio. Again, I think the girl's name is Marquita Bryant, I believe. She's 15 years old. And sadly, she was shot and killed by police this afternoon. Yes, another one. We'll go to Frank here, and I'm going to try to get another feed from Columbus, Ohio. This is in. We're currently with Frank Nitti II, and this is in George Floyd Square, as it's known. Hey, Jaquel, thank you for being a human being as well. And thank you all for watching. T-Rex, Sissy, Queen Jet Black, Assad. Oh. I think that's Jesse Jackson again. It is Jesse Jackson again.
It's not wrong. I promise you. Like, it's 420 also. Like,
Again, if you're just joining us, we're currently in George Floyd Square in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Reverend Jesse Jackson giving a prayer. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back here to Columbus, Ohio, so you can get an idea of what is going on there.
What's up, everybody? I'm back in the neighborhood, still in the neighborhood from where the shooting happened. With the 15-year-old police are here, of course.
No, this is really live. Oh, yeah.
I don't have a lot of battery, man.
This is restreaming somebody else's live, yes.
Charge my phone.
Jay Guyan.
These are the people gathered. People gathered around.
I remember you.
Yeah, but this is what happened right here in Columbus. Legion Lane, not far from Refugee Road. And, there's some people
I ain't forgotten
gathered.
Look at me.
Yeah. So they said it was a fight apparently, and the girl had a knife trying to. I guess she was defending herself. Well, she just had the knife. They haven't said anybody was stabbed with her. But they said one of the neighbors, he said once the police got here, they just got out and started shooting and shot the girl. So these are people who gathered. Of course, they got the streets blocked off now.
Now, I can confirm that the police were called at 4:25, and by 4:35, she was dead.
I'm watching you. We got guns too. We got guns.
This is in Columbus, Ohio, Evan.
Get your guns out. Get your guns out.
This is ready.
I see you. Get your guns out.
Police here. Go down the street.
I don't want to get fly. Get your guns out.
There's people upset, man. People upset that this has happened again in the city of Columbus, man. It's like the fourth of all police shooting with somebody that died by the hands of police here in the city of Columbus.
Yes, we reported on. There's so many names I can't remember them all off the top of my head. I believe his last name was Hill. He was gunned down, and we showed it on here by Columbus police. A young man walking into his kitchen carrying a Subway sandwich, gunned down by police, and in Columbus, Ohio.
They masked us saying a lot of things, but So some people, so some people try to say what caused it.
Get over here, I know how to fire too.
I've been crying out for peace, peace, peace. But there is no peace. Oh, you're welcome, Jaquel. Amen to that, Blackjack Queen. Amen.
So they're saying that police were called, but it says one of the neighbors said they heard like four gunshots, but the 15-year-old only had a knife. So that's trying to make sense of this. So just speaking of one person from the news,
Your wife's still a lieutenant? Come on. Hey, come on. Your wife's still a lieutenant?
No, it's cold. It's cold in Columbus. It's cold here where I'm at. It's snowing. There's probably an inch of snow on the ground here. It's cold there in Columbus, windy, and the word is just now starting to spread that this happened just a couple of hours ago. That's why it appears that there aren't many people there, but at the same time, the police have the area blocked off. And what you're seeing as far as the crowd, what you're seeing are people from the neighborhood itself and media. There is a larger crowd. I've been told there's a larger crowd that is gathering downtown in Columbus. So we will keep an eye on that. Again, if you're just joining us, this is Columbus, Ohio. A 15-year-old girl was shot by police just a few hours ago. And we'll go back to this.
It's just people just really upset, man. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we sick of that shit.
I'm just here, man. Support for the people. I can understand the frustration, man.
When they get scared, when the community stands up, they get scared.
People, man. We just got police and reform.
We're sick and tired of y'all.
Training, man. The reason why somebody should die, man. They call the police.
We're sick and tired.
You know? So it's needed, man.
Again, we try to give you the street view. We try not to use mainstream media. We want the actual information, and that's what we try to do here: is give you information and let you make. Don't tell you what to think. We give you things to think about. Is what we try to do here on the Doofus Show. Melanated Queen. I didn't want to say this, but what is wrong with the white police officers when it comes to FBA? Correct me if I'm wrong. Weren't the white police officers once slave catchers? Yes, that's where the roots of the American police force came from. Slave patrols, primarily in the border states and in the North. It does seem to be a never-ending story. Yeah, I could have come on with this like at 5 o'clock. I didn't have video of it, but I had the information, and I guess it was about 6 o'clock my time when I got it, and it was about 20 minutes after I'd ended the live about the verdict and justice being served. And 20 minutes worth of just relaxing before boom, another one's here. And yes, Assad, that point needs to be made as well. Black officers taking out their own. I hope the government doesn't want a race war. I know I sure don't. I started a movement called EAR, End All Racism, and I haven't been talking about it a lot because for the past few weeks, it's been more about survival than it has been about trying to heal. So I sure hope a race war isn't coming, but there are those that justifiably say there's been a Cold War, if you will, a non-shooting war going on against blacks since Abraham Lincoln announced the Emancipation Proclamation and gave them their due freedom.
They
Where's the mayor? Can you tell them? They try to quit. Look at this. What? What about the body cam? Release the body cam. Who's
Okay, I do have the what's going on downtown Columbus here now. Micaiah Bryant, okay. So I was given the right information. Martin Luther King Jr. would be rolling in his grave, judged by actions of the individual rather than race, content of character. Yes, that is, those are words to live by. Jay Morgan, I had a conversation with a friend who has a black daughter, and the conversation we had was after what I showed last night with the young black mother of twin daughters, a black deaf woman being pulled out of the car in Las Vegas, and her daughters were forced to take part in interrogating. It was sickening. But yes, I'm afraid that females are going to become more of a target because specifically black females in cars, because police are going to feel like they are more vulnerable and less likely to respond to aggressive actions. That's also true from Martin Luther King. Riots are the language of the unheard. This is not a riot. This is a protest march. Again, if you're just joining us, 15-year-old Marquita Bryant was killed by police this afternoon in Columbus, Ohio. Kind of piecing it together. Jesus did it at the temple. That's the only riot I really know Jesus led. That was when he got rid of the money launderers at the temple. But as far as a riot in the way of burning buildings or things like that, no. So the snow hasn't gotten to Columbus yet. Yeah, this is some sick shit. Absolutely. This was from. There are two different reports as far as before or after the verdict. Columbus newspaper is reporting that it was about 20 minutes before the verdict was announced at 4:35, and then the police were called at 4:35. By 4:45, she was dead. So, depending on how long the police took to get there, there was evidently not a lot of negotiation. Neighbors have reported that the police just showed up, got out, and started shooting. Society makes this a black and white thing, when in reality it is a humanity issue, because if George Floyd was white and Derek Chauvin was black, would it have made it any less gruesome? No, it wouldn't have. It just... I agree, Nat Turner. I agree, Melanated Black. Hello, Moondog. Ma'Khia Bryant, the latest name to add to the list. 15. So again, this is in downtown Columbus. Earlier, if you're just joining us earlier, we were at the site where the incident happened earlier this afternoon. "15-year-old Ma'Khia Bryant was shot by police. She was involved in an altercation and had a knife and was defending herself from a fight with another person. Police arrived, and from what I have been told, there was no other person there when police arrived. The other person had left. She still had the knife. They got out and started shooting. We'll have to see. We'll have to see body cams. We'll have to see all that to really get an understanding of everything that did happen. But so incredibly heartbreaking for a 15-year-old to begin with, and on the day that that we ought to all be able to take a pause and be grateful for just a little bit of justice. You know, when you think of Ahmaud Arbery, when you think of Elijah McClain, when you think of Breonna Taylor, then you get a little bit of justice for the family of George Floyd. And now no rest, no break. Yeah. I'm going to go back up to Minneapolis, Minnesota real fast here. We'll come back down momentarily.
Impersonation to the rest of our society.
We're with Mercado Media. That's who's providing the stream at the moment. Thank you all for watching that are joining us. It's the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. Currently, Minneapolis, Minnesota, George Floyd Square. Go back down to Columbus in just a minute. No, my man, True, we're not kidding at all. 15-year-old girl shot and killed. Columbus, Ohio.
Everything's been done. It's called the People's Way now.
We the people live in misery, yeah, resignation. We the people, free the people, Afro-ecology, resignation.
We're in Minneapolis, Minnesota at the moment. I do not own the rights to the music you're hearing. This is Mercado Media stream.
It was done early on. It's called People's Way now.
Highway freedom, don't go. No.
True. The girl was 15 years old. Apparently, she was involved in a fight, an altercation with someone else. She was defending herself in that altercation with a knife. Police were called, and according to neighbors, police arrived and just got out of the car and basically started shooting. The call to police was documented at 4:35, and the time of death was 4:45. So it took 10 minutes for the police to get there and for her to be shot. This is preliminary information. Okay, this is all preliminary, and it will be confirmed with body cameras, interviews, etc. But it's okay. All right. Wayne's World's got a little more info. 4 older women were trying to jump her. She called for help and got killed. She was the one that called the police. I have just got that verified in a text. She called police, and they came and ended up killing her. I'm gonna step back here for just a moment, back to the back of the room, and have a little bit of cigar and sit on the couch for a second, get off my knees here. And I will be back up in just a few moments. Thank you all for watching. Stay with us. It's the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. We are currently watching the stream from Mercado Media. Anybody's in the donating mood, donate to either Mercado Media, Unicorn Riot, or one of the other people out there with boots on the ground providing live streams for us all. don't own the rights to this music either. Please, no copyright hits.
All right, y'all. All right, y'all.
Okay, that song always makes me think of Good Morning Football, one of my guilty pleasures show I like to watch in the mornings. That was Minneapolis, Minnesota with Mercado Media. Hello, James Sweeney. Antifa means fitna, chaos. It's a religion that can be read and studied in detail. Principalia from 1963 in Hunkin Bay. I'm going to go back to Columbus, Ohio. Earlier today, 15-year-old Marquita Bryant was killed by police in a police action shooting. She did have a knife. The reason she had the knife was she had been part of an altercation. From what we're learning, four older women. This is a 15-year-old girl. Four older women were involved in an altercation. The girl herself called police to come and help her. And when police arrived, she had a knife. And basically, from what neighbors said, they got out and started shooting. 4 shots were fired, and she was killed. It all took about 10 minutes. Again, her name Marquita Bryant.
That's why I was saying, like, how are we going to get in the road?
Okay, the march has paused in Columbus. I understand why people are upset about celebrating. It's to me, it's not a day of celebrating because George Floyd's still dead, and so is so many others that have happened since and happened before. But it is a day to have a little bit of hope that that maybe we can turn a corner and justice will start being served. I know that's not what people want to hear right now. So turn the country into a mosh pit and let the strong survive. Careful what you wish for. We're not that far away, Viking Scott.
Hello, ABCD.
Okay, this is one of our. This is a feed from one of my local channels, and evidently our news person here has lost her microphone. Okay, I'm back up here for a couple of moments. For those that are just joining, Columbus, Ohio is the location right now. Protest underway. A little bit earlier this afternoon, a 15-year-old girl was killed by police in a police action shooting. And I'll recap it coming up. Actually, I imagine our reporter here is going to recap it. So let me jump into the comments here for just a second in the chat. Yes, she was the one that called for help. She was in an altercation with 4 older women and called for help. And when police arrived, she had a gun. They got out and shot immediately. The report that I've been given. Blue Lives Matter, shaking my head. We got to start wiping them out now. Okay, DC Alien. When is it going to stop? James, I hope it does. Yes, she did. She had a knife. She had a knife defending herself from 4 other women who ran as police pulled up. And again, police. She called police at 4:35, and the time of death was 4:45. So unless the police were sitting in their cars a block away and took 8 minutes to try to de-escalate, they are reporting. I haven't seen that report, but I'll check for it, Viking Scott. No, she was not white. Cops are going to be ambushed and killed over this one. I don't know. I don't know if that will happen. I've anticipated that happening a lot in the past, and it never did. Thankfully, I must say. Got daughters. I hate to see this. I do too. I've got daughters and a granddaughter and another granddaughter on the way. So it looks like our reporter is getting ready. I'm going to see what she has to say here.
Well, Stacia, as people were marching through downtown, they were calling for body camera video to be released, and now police will be doing that shortly this evening. People started gathering to demonstrate outside Columbus Police headquarters around 7:30 this evening, and then they began marching throughout the streets of Columbus. And you see, here we are now, really what was the epicenter of this past summer's protest. We're going to walk you up closer so you can see perhaps a couple hundred people out here, but we've been hearing so much chanting, of course, the name George Floyd, but a lot focused on that deadly shooting that occurred about the same time that the George Floyd verdict came out. We're hearing a lot of chants of say her name and 15, the age that family tells us this girl is when she was shot and killed earlier today. Now, of course, there are a lot of questions, and even here, folks, right now, they're chanting no justice, no peace. People want a lot of answers, and people that I've been talking to, they tell me it's just a lot of shock and emotion that this happened just about the same time that the verdict came out today. Now, if you take a few steps with me this way and maybe take a look down this way closer to the State House, you do see some flashing lights. That is law enforcement. Now, we've not seen, at least from my perspective, any direct interactions between people demonstrating and law enforcement. I see them over that way as well, but they have not been far off this evening. From everything I have been seeing, not many interactions, just a lot of emotion and chanting at this point. People of different ages, mostly young people out here, but you see we've gotten back to the epicenter of where we saw so many protests, so many demands for reform this summer with the State House lit up here in the background. We saw Ohio State Highway Patrol troopers there lining the State House outside. There's some fencing in this area, but right now people, it seems the goal is really to get their voices heard. So we're going to keep tracking everything and keep you updated on situations in this area. Station. Okay, we're leaving.
Okay, so they're bugging out. So we're waiting for a report from a press conference with police department from Columbus. Let me get some other footage up here. No. Okay. Might have to go back to. We'll go to see if I can get the Columbus protest up. Okay, there we go. Nope. The mainstream media local mainstream media have all done their reports, so they're all leaving, and I'm having trouble finding somebody on the ground in Columbus at the moment. So I'm going to we'll go back up to Minneapolis. We got Frank Nitti. Hey, you're welcome, True. Yeah, that's basically that was basically what I was told. The girl was in an altercation with 4 older girls, women, whatever. No, nobody's out rioting. They're out protesting. They're out marching, but nobody's rioting, at least not that we're seeing. Okay, this is from earlier. Well, that's ended too.
Yo, lady, pick that cup up. You just knocked over. Pick that up.
Yes.
Yeah, the night is young.
That's right.
Minnesota. Yeah. Life was a big dog. Life was a big dog. That's right. Love, we hate. We will not give up. We give out. Non-violence.
Come on.
We don't go wise. Non-violence. That boy was scared. We're gonna move on. We will be like, we'll be like we're fighting. Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Somebody. I am. Somebody. I am. Somebody. Respect myself.
All right.
I am.
So I don't have any lives up at the moment, any live streams to restream at the moment. It's the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. We've been live for the past past hour or so, I guess, probably. We were live earlier for the verdict that was brought down by the jury today in the Derek Chauvin trial for the murder of George Floyd. I'm going to sit down here on the floor for just a second. And if anybody has anything comment wise or question wise here for a couple of minutes, we'll talk. And then if I don't get something to pop back up, I'll go ahead and get off of here and keep monitoring, pop back on if I get more information on this. But as of now, we know a 15-year-old was killed in a police accident shooting. As I've said all along, all I'm doing is reporting what's being said to me. We will find out soon details as they become available, and will confirm or refute whatever we've been reporting. There's more battles to fight and more incidents to occur. Yes. Again, virus on hold for rioters. You know, I was thinking about that. When I was watching that. A lot of people have masks on. A lot of people aren't vaccinated, especially people in minority communities and especially in the Black community. So I was thinking about that. If we've got these different variants that are more deadly and more easily transmittable, being in a protest may not be the best thing to do. And they're not rioters. Nobody is rioting. Quit inflaming an already flammable situation. Welcome, thanks for joining. But we don't do hate, and we don't do racism here. So other than those two things, I've never ever kicked anybody out of the chat. I've never banned anybody from the program. But it's about respect. It's about humanity. It's about decency. And normally the program is more like this than what it has been over the past 8 to 10 days, where it's been just restreaming other live streamers. I do that on occasion, but that's been the total of the show because of the situation with Daunte Wright, and because of the situation with George Floyd, and because of the mass shootings that have continued to happen since I think it was March 15th when Atlanta happened, that kind of kicked off a string of almost every day. Yesterday there wasn't a mass shooting, but there were 3 on Saturday, and there was 1 this morning. So let's see what we got. Just having a gun at 13 or fighting with women with a knife. My mom would have beat me into the afterlife. The cops would have never had a chance to kill me. Yeah. I got to say, there was something my dad had that was called a bucking strap. It was he had been a barber, and it's what they used to as a razor strap, and I got my ass whipped with that a couple of times for things I deserved. Yeah. If you have no common sense, you are a demon. I don't know about that, but I'll tell you what, it is a dark world, and if you're a spiritual person, I don't know. I shouldn't say that. I should say it's a dark world, and as a spiritual person, I see darkness in people. Yeah. But as far as common sense, I don't see a lot of common sense in a lot of people. Trolls dancing on the devil's stripper pole. You Badbury. The juxtaposition between Texas and Florida being wide open, but each talking when it's for these crises is straight bias and ignorance. Shaking my damn head. That's from the one and only Carpe Diem. I think it is going to be a violent summer, and I think it would have kicked off. It would have kicked off today, regardless of calendar. It would have kicked off today, and it still may kick off tonight, because, as I've said, while there are those that are jubilant, we saw people dancing and we've seen people singing and celebrating the fact that justice was served. It still doesn't bring George Floyd back, but justice was served. And while there are those that are jubilant and celebrating, there are those that do not think justice was served. There are those that basically think police can and should do whatever they want. And that's a danger. That's a danger. It is going to be a violent summer because the Marxists are in control in America. They do not want peace. The Marxists aren't in control in America. Now, that's not saying that the people that are in control in America don't want peace, but they're not Marxists. But that's okay. That's just my opinion and your opinion, and that's what we do on here. It's all about respect. We can agree to disagree, and all people should be able to do that. All people should be able to just agree to disagree and go on. But people get caught up in absolutes. People get caught up in monolithic thinking that all Black people are either thugs, athletes, or musicians. A lot of white people, that's their thoughts, when it couldn't be farther from the truth. And a lot of Black people think all white people are white supremacists, and that couldn't be farther from the truth. But those thinkings exist, and they don't exist on a fringe. They exist within the populations. And it makes it tough to get unity. It's the corruption in DC killing our country. The Viking Scott, and for those that don't know and those that haven't Googled me, and people tried to bring me down since we started doing this. I ran for Congress against a guy named Mike Pence, and I ran against him 3 times, and I learned a lot. I don't hate Mike Pence. Mike and I ran 3 very respectful campaigns, and kept it about the issues, and it's not anything like politics is now. So I have some background in DC and in the corruption in DC, and the corruption in DC is real. The fact that there is not, one of the biggest dividing factors that those in power use is Republican and Democrat. That if somebody's a Democrat and you're a Republican, you got to hate them. And if somebody's a Republican and you're a Democrat, you've got to hate them. The government uses that and does that, when in fact, the people that are in power, the actual people in Congress, the actual people in the highest branches of government, it doesn't matter what letters behind their name most of the time, because they are all serving the same interests. The same big money gives money to both sides. And both sides had agreements on things. I don't know. I've been out of it for a while, so I don't know what it's like now. The way it used to be was, I'm the only candidate in the district that I'm in that ever got 100,000 votes in an election. No other candidate's ever gotten over 40,000 votes. Okay. I was real popular with the people. I was not real popular with the Democratic Party. I was called to Washington, D.C. because I was polling higher than Mike Pence. I went out there and I thought, they're going to give me money to fund a campaign. I got out there and they said, look, we're not going to help you because we make so much more money every time Mike Pence does an anti-abortion commercial, an anti-Planned Parenthood commercial. Our donations skyrocket. So we really don't want anybody but him to have the seat. That's the Democrats telling me that. Okay. So the corruption in DC is absolutely real. A lot of it's political theater. Okay. There's the Republican club and the Democrat club. Those are the two private areas where only members of Congress and guests of members of Congress or high-paying lobbyists can get in. That's where all the talking actually happens. That's where all the negotiating actually happens. And in the past, when I was involved, the two Republicans and Democrats were sitting outside smoking cigars, drinking whiskey, and laughing. Okay. And then on the floor of the House, they're at each other's throats. It was all theater. I don't know now, because now you've got QAnon people involved. Now you've got others involved. Okay, so I don't know how it is now, but that's how it was when I was involved. And if you're new to the program and you don't know, I'm a retired United Methodist minister. I retired really early for two reasons, one of which is that the 2008 economic crunch hit, and a bunch of churches had to consolidate. And I hadn't been in ministry that long, so I was one of the first to go. And I had a chance to move somewhere else, but anyway. So I've right out of college, I was a teacher and a coach. So I've been a teacher, I've been a preacher, I've been a musician, and I've been a politician. And putting all of those together, as well as, I was on the radio, I've been a journalist. And that's what makes me uniquely qualified to do what I do here on the American Doofus Show. So for those that don't know, now you know. I know the public doesn't have a clue. I thought you were going to say, when I first glanced, I thought it said, the people don't care. So anyway, the public doesn't have a clue. Thanks for sharing. My pleasure. Politics is the dirtiest game out there, with the exception of the politics in religion. Weird how Ohio police sent to Minnesota to help, yet cop involved shooting on this day and all day where cop numbers were low. Something to think about. It hasn't changed. It's the same. Old relics in Congress and power and money is their God. There are very few public servants in Washington, D.C. There are an awful lot of self-servants in Washington, D.C. I was naive. I was Don Quixote, tilting at windmills, because I wanted to go out there and make a difference. I wanted to go out there and help. And that's not what it's about. It's about being loyal to a party and to money. And I wouldn't do that. And I didn't win. Kissinger said, "Yeah, I've heard that, Queenie. I've actually, I didn't hear it. I believe I read it. I don't remember whose book it was in. If it was either in Kissinger's or one of the books about one of the Nixon books that reference it was in, I think. So, let me check and see if I can get anybody else up here real quick. I keep looking up at the screen to see if. Wait a second. I think we might have somebody from in Minneapolis, so we can go back there, and you don't have to look at me in the dark. Again, normally it's not like this. Normally I'm all lit up and I'm sitting behind or sitting in front of a end all racism banner, and I've got my hair's not, like Doc Brown from Back to the Future, or I don't know. Oh man. Okay. I don't. That's the 15-year-old little girl we're talking about, with her tongue out in a selfie. So, Yokia, yeah, you're exactly right. Somebody just texted me, today sucks. They've got a 15-year-old. All right. Okay. I do have a feed for Minneapolis, and I'll go back to that and get off my face here. I've been trying to stall until I got until the police press conference, so I could report the information they give. And it was supposed to happen at 10:30. It is now 10:30. So I'm going to drop back to the back of the couch there and check the laptop. And see where we're at. Okay, this is I don't own the copyrights to this music. I didn't put it on intentionally. It's part of the information and education and freedom of sharing.
As you can see, there's a lot of celebration going on. A lot of people dancing, enjoying music, happy, fireworks. talking, mingling. Pretty busy up here.
bump over to
real fast.
CJ.
What I was saying before the thing froze up was about the whole DC thing. So, yeah. I don't know if she was on skates. That tripped me out. That tripped me out. I realized you were on skates. I just saw you slide around. I was like, how'd you do that? I was like, how did like a damn genie. It's impressive. But I was talking about that Enrique Taro thing and kind of what happened in GSC. And I just want to clarify real fast. I didn't get finished. So after the big brawl went down, people were fighting. It all went sideways. People got pretty banged up. Enrique Taro cut in front of me. I was like, hey, Enrique, you good? And then he's like, yeah, I got a walkie-talkie from him. I was like, well, I guess that's what's going on. And then he cut out. First off, I wanted to see if it was definitely him through a whole wave of black and yellow. And I wanted to go ahead and cut an interview with him. I wanted to find out if that's what they were looking for. They got what they were looking for. Yada, yada, yada. Yada, 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 yada. Here, it's all in the background. But that's where it ended, was Enrique, you good. And that little optic moment spun completely into the notion that I was all of a sudden some kind of crazy problem. Nope. Also, throughout the night, there was plenty of them that came up. They're like, hey, CJ, just like tonight, people would come up to me here and they're like, hey, man, the guy over here, Neil, came up and was like, hey, man, I saw what you did in Kenosha. I really appreciate that fan on watching. How at that airport. It's happened everywhere I've been so far since I've been here. Not like, I'm not saying that's. I'm trying to like, hey, look at me. The sound is bad. I might have to reset. I can't do anything about the sound on mine. What I'm getting at is that, like, again, if a problem comes up and says, hi, how you doing? I appreciate what you do. Hey, me? If you hate them, that's your beef with them. Okay? Check the sound. I don't know what's up with the sound, man. I can't do anything about the sound, though.
Okay, I didn't know. Sorry, didn't know CJ was going to be talking about that, because I was going to talk about that. Where's CJ is at? He's in Minneapolis at the moment, and CJ's been taking some heat because of an interaction with the leader of the Proud Boys, and he was just trying to clarify it there that, just because you say hi to somebody doesn't mean you're part of their whatever. And I've got CJ was the one that I had on. I was restreaming CJ's live from Kenosha, Wisconsin. I had Corey Elijah up originally, and eventually went back to him. But I had CJ's live up when Kyle Rittenhouse actually started shooting people, and we captured it all. Yeah, CJ talks to everyone, and hey, I take the heat. I take heat too. At one time I had this guy on named Galaxy Boog, and he was a Boogaloo boy, and I've had an Antifa associate, let's say, on, and I've had some militia on, and I've had a gangster or two, I've been told, on. So just because and I liked talking with all of them. I liked talking with all of them because I learned from all of them. But each one of them will tell you it doesn't mean we agree on 100% on everything, or that I'm part of their movements. So I can kind of empathize with CJ for taking heat, asking if somebody's okay. Salty Granny, how are you, Salty Granny, tonight? 1990 Divine Order. The mob started gangs in Chicago. The mob knew how to do it back in the day. And one of the people that I always associate, one of the names I always associate with Al Capone is Frank Nitti. And now here, totally different Frank Nitti has surfaced as a an activist leader. And actually, I believe he's standing right there right now, just as I mentioned that. It's all cancel culture now. Yeah, it is. You know, if you start to get too big, or if you start to get out of line, it's time you're canceled. Diane McClain, we all need to learn respect and how to coexist. I couldn't agree more. All I know is would never watch someone who felt they needed to apologize and even clarify something like that. That was weak shit. Yeah, I can see your point, but at the same time, I guess it depends on you know who you are as far as the broadcaster, and whether you're, you know, what the purpose of your platform is. Okay, let's go back and see what's happening.
Not here.
I'm going to leave this on for just a couple of minutes while I search around and see what's happening, if I can find something in Columbus.
I think some people have said it, but I think they're taking George Floyd as a hero, right? I think he became an icon. That's what it is. Trash cans are burn pits.
Looks like there's a major march underway in Salt Lake City, Utah. Hey, I appreciate you. Welcome back, y'all. Natalie, hey, thank you for that contribution. I appreciate that. Natalie's killing it. Hey, thank you very much. Appreciate you, Tamara. Thank you. So Mr. Porta Potty is, I can't see a porta potty now without thinking through, actually. Rachel's all on your feet, but together we run. Like I said, man, the art coming out of here is wow.
was a gas station. Man, I would just sit in jam for a while, man. Slide out. Alright, what's it say? It says, yeah, I wouldn't want to drive over there, but someone said something about a question. Is it really just white, black, brown? What happened? Hey, I feel it. What are y'all doing? Feel the vibe over here. And you guys remember the march we went on over in Kenosha, the Milwaukeeans jamming out, feeling vibes, people being people? And if nothing else you guys can appreciate right now what's taking off is the tension and the pressure that's been on everybody. And it's been racially fueled, but right now with the verdict the way it went, whether you agree with it or not, what has happened in a big way is, like I said, that pressure cooker, man. They just release so much of that pressure, and people are able to come out and actually feel like there's a chance to breathe a little more now. And I was just saying that directly at what I'm looking at right now, which is literally.
Again, they don't know what's happened in Columbus yet.
Where George Floyd died under me and Derek Chauvin right over here in front of the Snuff Foods. So yeah, if we can't celebrate the fact that the world can breathe a little bit easier now, knowing that whether you agree with it or not, there's going to be a structure in place. It's going to take people to accountability. And I think someone said it a couple times already. Accountability is key right now. It's a structure that's going to keep the world moving in the right direction. If we hold ourselves higher until we hold ourselves accountable, you know what I mean? We hold our peers, our family, our whatever group it might be to a higher level of accountability.
Can I get your attention, please? Please. All right, you guys. The same idea. And we're supposed to do as a community of the village. And so we're going to shut this camp down, y'all. We're going to shut it down. I just told you, we're a village and we're a community. Don't forget where we live. We pay attention, pay attention. I need everybody to pay attention. The white supremacists will not come and open these streets up. So we want to shut this down because we still got tomorrow. Hello? You y'all hear me?
Okay.
You y'all hear me?
I want to play something here real quick that I've been that I've been wanting to play.
This specific time I didn't see the cop when I passed her, but she pulled up behind me and pulled me over. And right away when she got in the car, she took her gun out. If you kind of head into a fight or flight mode, really it's about how do you survive this. When she walked up, I said, threw my hand out. I said, hey, at this point I've seen too many of young black men, women die through the cop's hands, so I'm thinking like this can go any way at this moment.
Are you Darius? Okay. You not have the warrant?
Okay.
Yeah, you do. Why don't you unbuckle your seatbelt and step on out front, man?
And they said, we're arresting you for felony. So I get out of the car, they detain me. And it took some time for them to realize that they had the wrong Darius.
Shoot. This might be the wrong guy.
Switch pulled up, and this is a lot darker than me. His tattoo on his neck. Yeah, he looks
literally not you.
Like, what? How do you? What? He doesn't look anything like me.
You are pretty old. I am sorry.
I could have been dead today. You before it came in my head. I don't know why it came in my head. And anything can happen to us, man. Especially black bodies, man, black people, black men.
There are different ways that I am seen and that you are seen in a vehicle in Minnesota, in the United States.
Have you ever been pulled over by the police, and what was that experience like for you?
Okay, I have been pulled over by the police. I was driving home from work really late at night. She's like, driver's license. I like turned into the back seat and I was like, this is gonna be a minute. And grabbed my backpack and tore through everything. And then she was like, insurance. And I was starting to get really overwhelmed and I was tearing up, and she's like, I'll give you a couple minutes. And she walked back to the car, like letting me just sit in my car. I reflected immediately after it happened for an officer to feel comfortable with my presence, to leave me in my vehicle, to let me have my breakdown, getting away with a warning. Every single step of the way of all of those interactions within that 15 minutes, that should have been offered to a lot more people.
It affects me. I think the way that makes me feel is I'm happy for you and your safety, right? But I just feel like in this world, at this time, it just doesn't make any sense to me. How comfortable some people feel with driving and being pulled over, and how I kind of always have to. When I get pulled over, it's not about me being worried about getting a ticket or whatever. It's me worried about my life. Make sure you checking in with your loved ones, man. Check on your friends that are black, that are traveling in these suburban communities, because it could have ended a whole different route.
I did watch your video that you posted. Yeah, I watched it twice. Once to hear you, and the second one to like really hear you. It was almost as if everything that whole spring, this was building up, and then it happened to a friend, it really pissed me off.
First time they right. He was 20, but he had a young boy, just a young kid almost at 2 years old, approaching 2, just like me.
But also knowing that don't it was a traffic stop like yours.
Right, yeah. When I see the videos directly, it makes me angry once again. I see my brother, I see people that I love. It's affecting so many of us, even if it hasn't been in the circumstance. I think that a lot of my friends around my family are so affected heavily from seeing these videos. When you see it over and over again, you're seeing yourself.
So that's something I've been wanting to share. As always, just giving us something to think about. This is live. This is Black Lives Media out of Minnesota. Press conference on now. Okay, let me see if I can get that. Let me see if I can find that.
Up here, we're a little after celebration. That's what you call it. It's the start of a new day, George Floyd Square. done putting gloves on and all that. Now I can walk. Twin Cities Relief is up here, but I don't see no food.
Yeah, I got the press conference started. I just can't find the link. I'm trying to pull it up.
Thank you for the tickets to the horse.
You are welcome. It's okay.
And the horse. Yeah, they just there's a lot of I wanted to join the North. The North is all
So they opened this up for a collection of all the different signs and artwork that was created, collected, and preserved.
Okay, finally. I've got some really old technology, so once I got so many things open, it just slowed everything down. But
Information about what took place today,
here we go.
to share that information with the appropriate authorities. But tonight we pray for this family. We pray for our city. We pray for our neighbors throughout this community. Director Pettis.
Thank you, Mayor Ginther. The death of a 15-year-old child is devastating. She could be my grandchild. My heart breaks for the family tonight. No matter what the circumstances, that family is in agony, and they are in my prayers. They deserve answers. Our city deserves answers. I want answers. But fast, quick answers cannot come at the cost of accurate answers. BCI will conduct a fully independent investigation, which will be made public. If an officer has violated policy or the law, if they have, they will be held accountable. It is my job as the safety director to, as much as possible, ensure that. But in any way that you look at this, this has been a tragedy. The death of a 15-year-old child. So our thoughts and prayers are with the family, and we ask that everyone allow the process to work peacefully. Thank you.
Again, I can take a few questions, but again, it'll be difficult to answer a lot of things in detail, again, because our job at this point is to facilitate information to BCI and not conduct any part of the investigation. What the specific call was for you? It was a disturbance call, and the information was that a person called in and indicated that someone was trying to stab them and put their hands on them. The 911 call will reveal that there was a large commotion going on in the background, and the dispatchers have tried to obtain as much information as they could, but weren't successful in gathering a lot of information. That'll have to be a BCI question and through their investigation.
What's this officer's actions within division policy, and is this officer on administrative leave?
This officer will be taken off the street. Decisions about policy will come with the conclusion of the criminal investigation. That is the standard policy of the division, that we allow the criminal process, that criminal investigation to take place. Once that's concluded, this case will go to the Franklin County Grand Jury, to the prosecutor's office. After that, we will review it for policy compliance or violations.
Were either the two females that appeared to be threatened with an apparent knife, were they injured?
I do not have any information about injuries to any other victims at the scene.
Can we want any information about the officer?
We are not going to release that information yet.
Based on the video you saw, what the escalation tactics to the officer used before the outcome?
Again, I need an opportunity to get that officer's statement, and before that's provided to us, that is provided to BCI. So we want to provide them the opportunity to speak to him first. We do not interview the officer. We allow BCI to take care of that. Once that's done, we'll review that statement and any other information that they give.
You know what the media reports recently has been unreasonable. What can you tell us more? Was medical care provided? Medics called right away?
Medics were called right away. Officers, you can see from the video, the one officer is assessing the young lady for injuries, and then CPR was started. Once we are able to release that full public record to you, you'll see some additional life-saving measures that were taken by at least two officers that were at scene.
It seems again there were 4 shots, yes?
Again, that's, I don't want to make a speculation off of a video. There'll be forensics done that will be done by BCI, and I would like them to answer that question.
What does the direction say about the use of deadly force?
Deadly force can be used to protect yourself or the protection of a third person. So that is within the policy, and it is within the law. That is what the law says. Whether this complies with that will be part of that investigation.
For outside and have people start to gather at 7:30. There was a lot of emotion for a lot of folks. What would you say to people in the community?
What I would say is we took some unprecedented steps tonight. I think that all of you would agree that we've never been able to release video this fast, but we thought it was important to share with the community, to be transparent about this incident, to let them have some answers that we can provide tonight. We know we can't provide every answer, but it's important that we can answer some questions tonight. And we wanted to get that out as soon as possible. We immediately spoke with Mayor Ginther and Director Pettis, and we decided this was the best way to get this information out as quickly as possible.
In the interest of transparency, because there are people watching who may not have heard some of our interactions off camera, can you explain what people were seeing? Was any of that edited? I know some of the faces were blurred. Can you explain the reason?
Right, so public records law requires us to blur the face of any juvenile that may be in a video. So we were extra cautious and blurred the face of the video tonight, but that was not edited. We did not show you the full video because we've not been able to complete that public records process. That's a law that is incumbent and requires us to take away information before it's released to the public. So the only editing that was done was that it was shorter than the full length of a video. But again, once that full public records process is completed, you will get that tomorrow.
Thank you, Harrison.
Thank you.
All right, it appears that may be all that we're going to hear from the Columbus officials tonight. Extremely graphic body cam footage released. We apologize, too. There was not more of a heads up on just how graphic that video was. No one really knew what exactly police were going to release here, and they ended up releasing some very, very graphic video showing exactly the moment that 15-year-old was shot. There was a little bit of confusion. There were reports that the girl was maybe 16 years old, but the mayor mayor and the director of public safety there, saying that it was a 15-year-old who was the person seen on that videotape. Again, they released that very quickly. This incident only happened about 4:30 local time there earlier in Columbus, Ohio this afternoon, this evening. Police say they were responding to reports of a disturbance. When officers got to the scene there, if you were watching earlier on that video, it appeared to show that suspect there, or that person, that 15-year-old, swinging a knife at a couple of other people. Again, that's what the video appeared to show. We just watched it for the very first time along with you, and you see that officer fire shots very quickly as that person, that 15-year-old, appears to be swinging that knife. So it's a use of deadly force that is now under review. They say that police officer will be taken off of the force while this review is handled by the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation. This was the Columbus Police Department handling this incident, responding to this call, but taking over the investigation is the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation, officially handling this. You just heard from the interim police chief there, Michael Woods of the Columbus Police Department, saying they wanted to be very transparent and release the video. You heard from the mayor, Andrew Ginther of Columbus as well. Very shaken. Also, the director of public safety of Columbus appeared very shaken as well tonight, talking about that video. But they all said that they believed it was important to release it as quickly as possible. There was already a crowd gathered tonight on the streets of Columbus protesting after news had spread in that community of a 15-year-old girl being shot by police this afternoon. So again, police say they were responding to a disturbance, got there, saw that 15-year-old with what appeared to be a knife swinging it at people. That's when shots were fired, and that's where we are right now. Again, it just happened a few hours ago. This very shocking, disturbing, graphic video released very quickly from the body camera worn by the officer. Now the investigation and that review begins, and again, will likely take some time.
Okay, so I think I may be glad I missed the. I think I may be glad I missed the actual video footage as far as having it on the program here. Okay. This is in Columbus at the moment, and police are trying to disperse the crowd.
I got allergies. My allergies coming together. It's just ridiculous right now.
Not a big fan of this commentator. Don't like to use this stream, but the only one up at the moment. There's a full body cam video on YouTube. Yes, she had a knife. Yeah, we said she had a knife all along. That was reported right from the start. Let me see what I can pull back up. Well, Frank Nitti has shifted from Minneapolis to Brooklyn Center. We'll pop in there and check real quick, and I will see if I can find another link. To the protesting and police action. Oh, man. Come on. Here we go. We're going to see what's going on in Brooklyn Center because while justice for George Floyd family happened today, Daunte Wright, who was killed last Sunday, his person that killed him has been charged with second-degree manslaughter and is out on bail. That's Every Breath You Take by Sting that's being sampled there. Oh, okay. Okay. Come on.
There is the video.
Don't you know, talking about the revolution sounds. Don't you know, talking about the revolution sounds.
All right. Well, don't seem like a lot's happening there. I've got another feed finally from downtown Columbus. Hey, I'm a doofus on that one. That's my bad. I never heard that song. Oh, I just recognized the bass line because I'd played the song before. Okay, so the march is back underway. I'm gonna get as soon as I can get it up here on my phone. I got to go through Google and all that to get to CNN to get the video up. So as soon as I get it up, and there's a break, I'll put it on. Chat amongst yourselves. Be nice to each other. No hate, no racism. Lots of respect, and remind remind that everybody's a human. Love you all. It's the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. Don't be like me. Okay, we're going to show the body cam footage from the press conference.
Earlier today, we had a police officer locally provide information but we understand public desire and expectations to have transparency upon what happened. We worked very hard tonight to provide you a short video of the officer, the first officer that arrived at scene, and this is the officer that ultimately fired his weapon. We are not able to provide all public records associated with this tonight because of the redaction process and the public records laws. What we will be able to show you is the basic information that we have from our records. These are only gleaned from information that we have available to us. We do not interfere with DCI's investigation, so no information was obtained through witness interviews or officer interviews. At approximately 4:32 this afternoon, officers were dispatched to 3171 Legion Lane. The information was that a caller said females were there trying to stab them and put their hands on them. Dispatchers tried to obtain information about weapons, but weren't able to gather that information. Officers were dispatched at 4:36 and arrived at 4:44. We will play the first video in real time.
Okay. We're going to do that one more time in real time.
At approximately 4:32 this afternoon, officers were dispatched to 3171 Legion Lane. The information was that a caller said females were there trying to stab them and put their hands on them. Dispatchers tried to obtain information about weapons, but weren't able to gather that information. Officers were dispatched at 4:36 and arrived at 4:44. We will play the first video in real time. As per policy, officers immediately assessed the female for injuries, summoned a neck, and began CPR. We will now show you the video in slow motion so you can see what the video shows is the female with the knife attempting to stab the first female that lands on the ground, and then the second female that's pushed against the vehicle.
Does anybody else see that it looks like he's, I don't know if it's intentional or not, but he's covering his body camera lens?
This is a tragic incident for all involved, but especially for the family of the female.
I'm just asking. I'm not saying that's what happened.
As I said earlier, the Bureau of Criminal Investigation is conducting a criminal investigation into this incident. At the conclusion of that investigation, the additional police will conduct an administrative review of the actions of this officer and all officers at the scene. I can't answer a lot of questions at this point. Obviously, this is very new, and we're still gathering information that we can gather, but most of that information will be done by DCI. They're doing the investigation. We want to ensure that independent review from them, and we stay out of the way and provide the information that they request from us. Can't get there.
Okay. So there you go. A couple of looks at it in real time, a look in slow motion, and people, we're not going to tell you what to think. Just show you and let you think for yourselves. She did have a knife. Okay, reaching for his radio mic, that makes sense. It just, I didn't notice it I didn't notice it in real time, but in the in the slowed down version, just appeared like he was putting his hand up, and it looked like it might have been at times when he was firing. And but yeah, reaching for his mic. If she raised the blade, then he will not face charges. I don't know. It appeared that that she was going to stab the woman in the pink. To me, okay, I'm not the one that makes the decisions on what's justified and what's not, but we want to get everything out there now. As far as the reports I gave, I think what I was given, I've got to say thanks to my sources, because what I was given was fairly accurate. There were 4 other women there, and as far as a neighbor, from a neighbor's point of view, it looked like the cop just pulled up, came out, and shot. And it all happened in about 10 minutes. So I don't think I had this story first or anything. I don't know if it's hit mainstream yet or not. I do know it's circulated through the actual real, true, honest media now, which is online. I know it's circulated through online. I don't know if we had it first or not, but the early reporting we had panned out. So again, that's going to be up to everybody that sees that video as to whether that was justified or not. But it is incredibly sad. A 15-year-old girl lost her life, and the protests are ongoing. I'm honestly not sure. I very rarely do I go to a streamer that I haven't at least watched a little bit of, but we're going to go to Columbus now with a streamer that I'm totally unfamiliar with. So let's see. Okay, you guys are kind of talking amongst yourselves. That's fine. No wisecracking. We're not going to see protesters get gassed tonight. Well, I don't know. The police have already stopped them once in Columbus, but I don't think they would after. I don't think police are going to be as apt to ratchet things up after the incident. But it's Columbus, and they've been doing some killing of unarmed people. Shoot, I forgot his name again. His last name was Hill, and his first name started with an A, I believe, if I remember right. Gosh, it's been months now. And again, there's so many. But he stands out as one that was just incredibly blatant, so blatant that the cop got fired immediately before charges were even pressed. And then another was I think it was a sheriff's department SWAT officer that killed a young black man going into the kitchen of his house, carrying a Subway sandwiches for him and his mom, it was him and his grandma and his little kid. I think. I don't know. They all run together. It's just too damn many. But at the very least, this video is, it's going to be up to others to decide whether the shooting was justified or not. But it is not so cut and dry as watching a man put his knee on the neck and on the back of another man for 9 minutes and 39 seconds. That one I said for the past 2 nights, I couldn't be in the middle of the road on that. I couldn't be objective on it. I couldn't after seeing it the first time. And if there would have been any other decision, thankfully the correct decisions came down. Now I've got to say, I sure do not agree with the President of the United States weighing in before a verdict is given. He cannot have that. He cannot have that liberty that I do to be able to make a judgment, because he is president of all people, and I didn't agree with him doing that. If you didn't hear the words that the president and Kamala Harris said, they spoke after, and it's basically, political stuff. We've got to try to do this and we got to try to do that. And it's all a bunch of rhetoric because the George Floyd bill should have been passed into law, and it sits in Congress. And that is something that we as people that care about, if you care about justice, if you care about equality, if you care whether, no matter the pigment of your skin, if you have a concern when a police officer stops you, when there's no logical reason to have one, then you should support police reform. And I'll leave it at that for the moment. Just something to think about.
Reforms over and over again. There's no more time for dialogue about, what are we going to do next? Oh, we're going to put the Civilian Review Board. The Civilian Review Board has no real power. This is just another way to pacify us and keep us on the streets and keep us closed and accountable. The conviction of Derek Chauvin is not a win, in the sense that as they are prosecuting one officer, another officer is killing a child, Dante Ray.
Okay, we just got what we call a static view. We've got a view with no movement and the camera being static as well. Hi, Kitty. I wanted to address something. that if the police officer would have got there a little bit later, it would have been handled. And I thought about that, and I wondered about, she knew she was calling the police, and I wonder if she felt like, well, the police have arrived. They know that I'm the victim here, and I can go ahead and give these other women something because the cop's here and he knows it's me that needs help. Because that's the thing that resonated with me, was that she was the one. Well, and we don't know that yet because the police haven't verified that. My information was she's the one that called the police, and I had that given to me, and then I had somebody in chat say that they had that information as well. So 60 homicides in Columbus so far in 2021. Saturday night there was one was killed, 5 were injured in a shooting at a vigil for somebody else that had already been shot. Again, I touched on the cases I touched on were not this year. They were in 2020. So there already been 60 more. I don't know how many there have been in Indianapolis so far this year. I do want to talk about that for just a second because the 19-year-old Brandon Scott Hole, Hole, the shooter, did the shooting with 2 legally purchased assault rifles. And that is despite the fact that his mom had gone to the FBI and said that she was troubled that her son was going to commit suicide by cop and take others with him. Indianapolis Police Department and FBI on an investigation of the house, and while securing a shotgun, the only gun on the residence, noticed white supremacist websites on the computer of the 19-year-old, and 5 of the people killed at the FedEx in Indianapolis Thursday night of last week were indeed immigrants. So there's a potential tie there that I have not been able to work into everything I keep forgetting to mention, and so now's as good a time as any. Okay, let me see where we're at. Pre-made shoots in Columbus. Okay. Okay, so someone else had the knife and she took the knife away from someone before all this, before the police arrive in the body cam. We'll see if that comes out. Where was that at, El Chupa? Because that does happen. There was, I don't know if I need to find that video. There was, I think it was in Georgia. A guy came out of nowhere in the video. I mean, he just all of a sudden shows up, and he's got an AK-47 and he's blasting rounds at the police car. The story we ran, I don't remember if it was Saturday or Sunday when we ran it, about the taxi driver in New York City that had 20 Molotov cocktails in the back of his car, and police officer pulled him over, and the guy threw bleach or something at the cop as he was coming up to the door, and then tried to throw a lit Molotov cocktail. He used plastic bottles instead of glass, and the bottle bounced off of the police car and into the street, and didn't ignite, thankfully. So yeah, it's, anybody that's watched the show for any length of time knows that I've said not all cops are bad. I think most of them are pricks, but that's just because I think they got a pricky attitude because of, anyway. But no, they're not all racist. Now, you can say the other as well. You can damn sure say that there are racist cops. Now, how many, where they are, we got to find that out. We have to find that out. There are too many stories that are going to be coming out from ex-cops who have guilt and are going to start talking about what really honestly goes on in some police departments. And a lot of you know already, this isn't breaking news to a lot of you, but we're going to find out that there's been some, and is currently ongoing, some unbelievable stuff in some police departments. And it's like politics. People say, well, there's a bunch of dirty politicians now. My congressman and my senator and my yada, yada, yada. And a lot of people think that way about police. Well, they're all over everywhere else is bad, but mine aren't. And sorry, it's just not how it was, how it is. Okay. I'm going to see if now that the 11 p.m. curfews, I'm going to have to go back and charge my phone. Go back up to Brooklyn Center, where they're protesting for, well, I thought it was. Go back up to Brooklyn Center before we call it a night. But maybe not. Let's see. Yes, we are. I'm going to have to move back and charge my phone. Okay. Yes, I know my battery's low. It's showing this as live, but I'm not sure it is. There's video footage of police placing a hit on 50 Cent, on 50. I've been in gunfights. There is no rationalizing them. When I took the classes I took what was called Basic Handgun Fighting 1 and Basic Handgun Fighting 2. And that was exactly what was taught in 2, is in the second month of class, was that there's no rationalizing. When if something happens, you don't need to be an expert shot from 50 feet away, because most gunfights happen within 5 to 10 feet and last 10 to 30 seconds. So I'm going to get back to what's going on the streets here in Minnesota while I try to find a decent Columbus link. I was trying to see what was happening in Brooklyn Center, but I can't get a link there at the moment. So again, this is Black Lives Media from Minnesota. Yeah. Hey Noah, thanks for watching. Yes, we had the body cam footage on, and had it. We ran the footage twice, and then ran the let it run through the slow motion version after the second time. So yeah, people are qualified to talk about it. Everybody's seen it. Again, I'm stepping back for a few minutes to have a smoke and charge my phone. Thank you all for hanging out. Hey, if you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost anything, and I'm trying to get up to 3,500. So.
That she believed that she was using her taser when she shot her. In any event, of course the protesters are happy to because there was the guilty verdict in the trial of Derek Chauvin for the death of George Floyd, for which he was found guilty on second and third degree murder and manslaughter. But so the protesters are happy; they're not doing anything violent. Their stated intention is to not do anything violent. And with that, though, there's still an 11 p.m. curfew imposed. And so basically the purpose of what they're out here to do is that they're challenging, theoretically, as of 11 p.m., which I guess is about right now, that all of them are theoretically out here illegally. Media is exempt, so I feel pretty confident that I'll be fine. But the question basically is, are the police or the National Guard actually going to come out and put handcuffs on people for being outside? That's essentially the question. I think because of the sort of celebratory nature of what happened this afternoon, there really aren't that many people out here right now. 50 civilians and
Ford Fisher from News to Share, one of the streamers we use quite often.
I will say that I noticed that, at the actual police station, which is behind me there, that the last couple minutes, like since I was talking, inside to like get ready. I tried to go live there, so I think this is my first live stream TV. Yeah, so I use an app that doesn't show me the comments. So I have no idea how they do it or anything else. I don't know if
Which makes me think that they're like I had no idea when I bought the tickets that he was being found guilty on all charges right in But so I actually am set to be here until next week. Oh wow! So I don't know if I'm for now. That's true. The work starts to get out. Yeah. The question though is where. Like, I feel like there might be some people that kind of migrate to like.
The next one goes out to our friends at Native Lives Matter.
Oh no!
Who's that? Who's that? Who's that? Who's that? Native Lives Matter. Native Lives Matter here. Native Lives Matter here.
All right. I want to thank everybody for watching throughout the past week when we've been doing these live restreams. This is not what the show's normally about. We do segments with stories. Hopefully, here, let me flip the camera back around here to end this. And show you Oakley. That's the doofus dog right there. And since I'm down on the floor, anytime I'm down here, she likes to be down here with me. Come on now. Okay. All right. You stand right there in front of the camera. That's okay, baby. I don't care. Thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you all for being here. If you're a regular viewer, you are greatly appreciated. If you want to contact me, you can do so. American Doofus, AmericanDufus, all one word, at gmail.com. If you want to help us keep doing what we're doing, it's $sign American Doofus, all one word. Again, DUFUS for Doofus at Cash App. I love you all. Thank you all for being here. We'll be back tomorrow night, and we'll be back sooner if something breaks. Otherwise, blessings and peace to all of you. Shalom. Namaste. Peace. Peace, love, tranquility, prosperity, health, happiness, and hope. And it's a dark world. Try to be a light. My name is Barry Welsh. Thanks for watching. It's the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. Until next time, peace.